and so Olya went to work happy. Spring was in full swing, everything was blooming around, the birds were singing joyfully, and it was wonderful in my soul. In the morning everything was as usual. She got up before everyone else, cooked breakfast, fed her husband and daughter. After seeing my daughter off to school, I went to work. It had only been an hour since the chief's secretary called her and said that the chief was urgently calling her. Olya was a little scared. There was nothing to scold her for, but then why is she calling her? She thought. Olga Vladimirovna, have a seat, Igor Konstantinovich said in a calm voice. I have an important conversation with you, on which your future career will depend. Olya looked at the boss uncomprehendingly. Various thoughts were swarming in my head. She had been working in this firm for 7 years, and even when she was promoted to head of the department, Igor Konstantinovich did not call her. So he wants to fire me, she thought. Although this month her department worked perfectly. Olga Vladimirovna, don't be alarmed, the chief said with a smile. I've been watching you for a long time. As an employee, of course. I like the way you approach your subordinates. They respect you, but at the same time they are afraid of you, and they also do everything perfectly and expect praise from you. I really like this strategy and tactics. In 3 weeks Egor Viktorovich, my deputy, leaves. He is moving with his family to another city, and I would like to offer you his place. What do you say? Olga couldn't say a word from shock, but only smiled. I see you don't mind. And before he starts handing things over to you, I wanted to suggest going on vacation for a couple of weeks. Of course, the vacation will be paid. It's just that you had a month on schedule, but you won't be able to go from your new position at this time. In the summer, you will definitely have more. And this vacation, let's say 4 years of service, you'll rest for a couple of weeks, and then you'll take all the cases in a week. Agreed. Of course, Olya agreed. Yes, she wanted to jump for joy like a little girl, but it was impossible to show it. And now she was going home early. On this occasion, I decided to walk through the park and admire nature. She's been working a lot lately, and she hasn't been able to walk around so serenely. She was walking and thinking where they would go for a summer vacation. Previously, they wanted to go to Turkey or Thailand, but now with a new position and with her salary, they will be able to go to the islands, about which they read so much with their daughter. There was no one at home. Vitya's husband was at work, and Lena's daughter hadn't come home from school yet. Olya decided to cook something special for this occasion and went to the store. Having bought a lot of goodies, she went home happy. Already at the entrance I met with a neighbor. Olya, aren't you at work? Quit or something? Olya decided not to tell her neighbor about the promotion. She was already constantly looking with envy at their family, and there was something to be envious of. A happy family living in their apartment, a good car. A babysitter with her daughter goes abroad on vacation. So Olya nodded and even tried to make a sad face. And I went to my house. When she entered the apartment, she laughed. My daughter came to lunch and was glad to see my mother instead of the nanny. Olya fed her lunch and did not start preparing for dinner together. Victor was driving home from work tired. No, he worked a little. It's just that today he really had to do something, and not just sit there reading the news on the computer. He worked as a system administrator in a small company. There weren't many computers there, and they rarely broke down, and today one broke down, and he so wanted to sit and read reviews about the new game console. He was already thinking about how he would present the news about the need to buy it to Olya. Olya earned well and could afford it, but she kept saying that she needed to buy her daughter a new bed and a table. But never mind, he knows how to talk her down. After parking the car, he got out and went home. Near the entrance, he met a neighbor. The only breadwinner is going home, she said sarcastically. Victor looked at her questioningly, and she continued happily. I saw your Olka today, as a beaten dog was walking. They threw her out of work. Didn't you know? Why didn't your wife share this news with you? Olya saw the car already in the yard. So her beloved will come soon, and she will tell him the good news. Victor came in and didn't let her say a word. Olya, why do I get the news about your dismissal from a neighbor? Do you think your husband should not be informed? Olya wanted to object and tell the truth, but decided to wait. Vit, but you've told me so many times to leave work and take care of the child. And then Lena sees the nanny more than her mother. Yes, Victor said that, but he did not think that she would dare to do it. Olya loved her job too much, and he had to somehow show how he cares about everyone. Victor smiled. Yes, of course, honey. It was just a shame to learn it not from you, from a neighbor. And they went to the kitchen. Victor sat and thought that the question of a new console would have to wait. And there's a new smartphone coming out soon. We'll have to say goodbye to the dream for now. Olya noticed that her husband was upset, even though he tried to smile. But since she has already started her game, she must continue. Victor went to bed early, citing fatigue, and Olya read about the islands with Lena. And they dreamed of lying in a hammock, and there would be an ocean nearby. Victor heard and thought everything. Aha! The ocean, now I would at least go to the sea. 3 days have passed. Olya was busy in the kitchen, cleaning, doing homework with her daughter, and they walked in the park. But Victor was getting darker every day. At dinner, he asked, aren't you bored at home? Maybe you'll look for a job. No, I don't want to, Olya said. I'm doing so many things now. I have time to live now. I'm not in a hurry. You work for us. We're not going to stay hungry. She hugged her husband and kissed him on the cheek. Only now she realized that she didn't even know what Victor's salary was. They buy all the products together, and she pays with her card. She also pays for utilities herself. Victor says that he does not understand receipts and will do something wrong. Yes, and clothes, furniture, it's all her. Even the car. And then a loan was taken for it. The next day, Victor sent some messenger links. When she opened them, she saw that they were job vacancies. So that's it, she thought. In response, she wrote that she would definitely send a resume and asked Victor to buy products according to the list. Aren't you coming with me? Victor wrote. No, I have a headache. Now Victor realized that he was getting angry. Now it's time to buy the products yourself. He came home and brought a package. Olya, if I buy groceries for such amounts every day, then I won't have any money left for gasoline, Victor said without hiding his anger. It's okay because you'll take the subway or the bus, so we'll save. Or maybe we should sell the car. With this money, we will fly to the islands. Lena dreams about them so much. Victor choked already. How to sell your swallow? How is he so handsome? Going to wink at the girls from the bus window. But he said it out loud. No, Olya, here you go to work, and we will earn. Did you send your resume? Yes, I sent it, but it was rejected everywhere. Okay, I'll look tomorrow. I'll look for you. Okay, I'll look for you again tomorrow. The next day Victor called. Olya, jump. I found you a great place and have already signed up for an interview. I'll pick you up in an hour. Olya didn't jump. She was even more upset, realizing that everything her husband had said before about her having to take care of the house was all blatant lies. An hour later, the husband arrived, and they drove off. Victor stayed in the car, and Olya went into the office building and decided to just sit somewhere, and found a cafe on the second floor. An hour later she came out. Well, Victor asked nervously. Nothing, Olya said calmly. They took another one that has connections. Victor drove the car and barely restrained his anger. Arriving home and just closing the door, he began to shout how tired he was of pulling the whole family on himself, that they're all sitting on his neck, that it was possible to find a job in a week, and that in the end he leaves. Olya laughed. She packed her husband's things in a suitcase earlier in the day. She took out his suitcase and told him to leave. Victor stood in disbelief. Who's going to need you? Unemployed, and even with a child. And I won't give you any money. Go away. We don't need your money. My daughter and I will live very well without them, as we have already lived before. Oh yes, leave the car keys. It's registered to me, and you won't be able to sue her. And my parents' apartment was, and I inherited it. So here's your stuff. Victor tried to shout something else, but all in vain. He left and imagined how in a day his wife would call him and beg him to come back. But it didn't happen. The next day, Olya filed for divorce. And a month later, she accidentally met her ex-husband in her office. He came for an interview and was surprised to see his wife in the office of the deputy head of the company. So you quit, didn't you? As you can see, no. I was joking, Olya answered laughing. And the vacancy you came to is occupied by someone else. By whom? Yes, by anyone from that queue in the corridor, and pointed to the door. That's the story, friends. Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.